Hey guys, what's good? JJJBoxing here, and I want to talk about um, Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Dimitri Bivol. So we just seen Canelo; he got the win against Triple G. Now we need to see if Bivol can get past Zurdo Gilberto Ramirez, and if he does, which there's no guaranteed in that. I believe he will with his boxing skill. But Gilberto's huge. Like if you've seen the face-off, he's fucking massive compared to Bivol. Bivol's actually not a big light heavyweight. Like he's on the smaller side. He's more like a 168 to be honest. But anyway, if he gets past Gilberto Zurdo, then yeah, there's a possibility we're going to see a rematch between these two fighters. As since Canelo does have an injured hand that he needs to get surgery on, apparently he hurt it in the Caleb Plant fight, and he's been fighting on it for a while now, which is not uncommon. Fighters go through injuries and they fight through them all the time, and they don't get surgery on it when they should. But Canelo's finally going to get it done, get it right, and probably take more time off than he usually does. I'm guessing at least 6 months off minimum. But what I want to talk about in this video is can he beat Dimitri Bivol? Because Bivol is a beast, and he's obviously not the biggest guy. He does have a height and reach advantage over Canelo, obviously, but he's not like massive. Like Sergey Kovalev was bigger than him and Canelo beat him, but obviously that's not a prime Kovalev. Triple G is a bit smaller than Bivol in height and in reach, but I would say he's stronger than Bivol. But Bivol's strong as well, and he's powerful and got power. So I don't think it's the size that really will make what made the difference. Obviously, it combines on top of the fact that Bivol actually got skills with his size over Canelo and his reach. But size-wise, it's not like Bivol overpowered Canelo or anything like with his size. It's just his boxing skill, right? So I don't know if the number one thing I would say is Bivol's used to fighting bigger guys professionally and in the amateurs, so yeah, like I would say that has a do with a lot of it when he's fighting a smaller guy like Canelo, who's obviously Canelo's not super small compared to him, but like I said, it's not that you're bigger than a guy, but you're used to fighting guys big, right? But anyway, if we go back to Bivol's illustrious amateur career, we can see he's won gold in the World Championships, Cadet World Championships, European U22 Boxing Championships, European Cadet Championships, European School Championships. Ever since 2005, he's won a gold. Summer Universiade. What's Universiade? I don't even know what that is. It's an international multi-sport event. Okay. So we won a gold there, or silver there, sorry. Some kind of Russian event. Okay, he won the youth. Oh, hold on a sec. Guadalajara. He actually won a bronze medal at middleweight in Guadalajara, where Canelo's from. That's actually that's kind of something. That's what do you call it? That's a coincidence since that's where Canelo's from, right? Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Isn't he from there? And then the World Combat Championships, he won a gold. So, yeah, I don't think I guess, does that count as Olympic? I don't think that's Olympic. Anyway, he has a pretty good amateur background. He I see a lot of golds here, to be honest. A lot of golds. Um, but anyway, yeah, he started at 154 according to what I'm reading. He won a gold 2005 light middleweight. So Bivol's not a huge guy, but his amateur background, the reason why I'm talking about this is obviously Golovkin has an even better amateur background than Bivol, considering he won a bunch of golds and a silver Olympic medal. Plus, Gennady had like 300 amateur fights, only lost like 5 or something. It was crazy. I think only Lomachenko can like compare to that. I'm not sure about Bivol's amateur background. I assume it's comparable, but I don't think it could. Okay, here we go. Yeah, his amateur record is comparable to a Golovkin and Lomachenko. 268 and 15 losses. So that's incredible. And this is the reason why I think Canelo can't beat this guy. This guy has the Eastern European boxing skills at the highest level. He's faced guys at his weight that were the best. Is like he was facing guys that were the best just like him. Like he's not fighting guys that were taxi drivers and bums and tomato cans like Canelo did early in his Mexican youth days, right? When he was building himself. Obviously, lately, Canelo has faced very high level competition, as we all know, and professionally, Canelo is probably the more experienced fighter professionally for sure. Though Bivol has a lot of very good wins professionally as well, and has a lot of good professional experience. But would I bring up the amateur background of Bivol? That's what is in Canelo's way in that, and I don't know if he can get past that, to be honest. I don't think Canelo's getting any better now. I don't think he's declining, but I don't think he's getting any better. So it's going to be really hard. It's going to be interesting and very hard for him to beat Bivol, but I still want to see the rematch if Bivol gets past Gilberto. Even if he doesn't, say if it was just a close fight and he lost, I still want to see it. But I am definitely looking forward to that fight. I think it's in November. So check out that, guys, on DAZN in Abu Dhabi. November 5th. And so Bivol's number 1 in the light heavyweight division. I think he is the best in the light heavyweight division. I don't think anyone is better than him. I don't think Beterbiev is better than him. I just think he has the best boxing skills in the division, and he's the best. He's the WBA champion. Beterbiev has all the other belts, but I still consider Bivol better than Beterbiev, to be honest, and I give respect for Canelo challenging him. So Bivol, his boxing skills from the amateur days, he understands distance so well. And knows how to use his ring generalship and position himself right to avoid punches and to land punches. And when he gets you hurt, or when he senses you're slowing down, he will start sitting down on his shots and landing power shots on you, and will hurt you because he does have power, as he's shown. His KO percentage doesn't do him justice. It's 55%, but this man does have power. He just chooses to land scoring blows, and he will go for the kill, but he's more of a tactical fighter that has power, but more of a boxer, I would say, than a puncher. But when it comes down to it, he does have power, as we've seen with the Sullivan-Barrera fight when he dropped him in the 12th round there. Cedric Agnew knocked him out in 4 rounds. So he's got power. He's definitely got power. But a lot of his top-level competition, he's won unanimous decisions against. Joe Smith Jr., Jean Pascal, Isaac Chalemba. So he's got good names on his resume. Saul he beat, obviously. So we'll assume everything goes right, and the Canelo heals up his hand. He's ready to go. Bivol wins against Gilberto Ramirez. He's ready to go. They face in the rematch. And can Canelo develop some kind of game plan to beat Bivol? I don't think he can, but I'm still intrigued by the matchup just because I want to see if he can come back better and avenge the loss. But the things that are getting in his way is he's fighting a natural light heavyweight, and what I mean by that is Bivol's not the biggest light heavyweight, but he's used to fighting light heavyweights for his whole professional career. He's up against an amateur pedigree like no other. Like I said, 250 fights, 15 losses, incredible, right? I think it was something like that. It was ridiculous. He's lost 15 times out of over 200 times. So he's facing the highest level amateur pedigree you can possibly face. And obviously, Canelo has faced that before in Golovkin, and we see what happened there when Golovkin was still in his prime, or at the tail end of his prime in the first fight, and in the second fight, Golovkin wasn't in his prime anymore. But we know what an amateur background can do from Eastern Europe. It is a very hard style to deal with, especially if you're coming from a background like Canelo, where he likes to sit down on his shots, and he likes a guy to kind of stay near him and kind of give in to the pressure, like the Western fighters kind of give in, like a Billy Joe. He'll break down those kind of guys. He'll break down a Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant just didn't have enough experience, in my opinion, and he lacked power to sit down and give. Like Canelo just didn't respect his power enough, because Caleb doesn't sit down on his shots enough. Not that he doesn't have power, he just doesn't sit down on his shots enough. And he doesn't have the experience that a Bivol does, or a Golovkin. But what I'm trying to say is these Eastern European fighters are a different breed. Mentally strong, physically strong, and they know how to judge distance because they've been doing it hundreds and hundreds of times in that ring. They know where to position themselves. The ring generalship is at the highest level. And I feel like that's going to give Canelo problems all the time, no matter who it is, right? Like Floyd Mayweather had that, right? And he had the experience, and that's why he lost there. Gennady Golovkin, people say he lost to Lara. Lara was a close fight. Lara wasn't active enough, in my opinion, but he gave him problems. Miguel Cotto had that ring generalship in that experience, and he gave Canelo problems as well, and he possibly won that fight. So those type of fighters that know how to judge distance and use their positioning, their footwork positioning well, they don't have to have the quickest footwork, but just know how to position themselves to get away from the punches in time at the right time, and know how to land their shots at the right distance. Those fighters give Canelo's problems. Yeah, like the game plan going into the Bivol fight, what should he do different when this rematch takes place? I would say that he needs to just do what he did in the first fight. I know people are going to say, what are you talking about? He lost the first fight. But what I mean is that I kind of thought it over to myself. And I kind of thought, like, I seen the Triple G third fight. It happened again with Canelo. He gassed out like he did against Bivol. And I wonder why that is. And people saying, oh, he's declining now, wear and tear. I don't agree with that. I think it's because Canelo, that's just his style. He's fell in love with his power even more, though, lately. And he throws every shot with vicious intent and vicious power. And for anyone who's ever been in a boxing gym or owned a punching bag and has punched as hard as you can and then punch lighter, you know that punching harder takes up more energy and you gas out quicker. And especially if you throw hard shots in combinations, that takes even more out of you. And I feel like Canelo's style lately has just been throwing the hardest shots he can possibly throw on a guy. And it's worked against guys that are mentally weaker, against guys like I said, Billy Joe or Caleb, who have not as much experience. It'll work against those type of guys, but or against a washed up kind of lack discipline fighter like Kovalev drinking the vodka and stuff over the hill. It'll work against that kind of fighter when you're throwing power shots like that. You'll eventually maybe catch a guy if they have a mental lapse or they just don't have like enough in the tank anymore, like Kovalev. But a guy against someone in their prime like a Bivol, that's just not going to work. But then again, I don't know if anything else will work. I think he has to do the same thing, to be honest. When I thought about it, I kind of thought about it, maybe he should conserve his energy more and change up his style, try to land more lighter shots, right? And try to score more points. But then I think, how is he going to outscore a guy like Bivol, though, even if he tries that? I just don't see him winning rounds, even if he throws lighter shots. Because I feel like if he throws lighter shots, Bivol's going to maybe, like, he won't get as much respect from Bivol maybe if he does that, because Bivol's going to come into the rematch even more confident. So I really, and it depends on the person's body type. Like some people just have fast twitch muscles and they're not an endurance type guy. Like it doesn't matter what they do. Like obviously he could try to conserve his energy and throw lighter shots, not as hard, but maybe he'll get tired anyway no matter what. But obviously, like, he won't get as tired as quick. But will he win rounds that way? I just don't know if he can win rounds that way, to be honest. Because, like I said, Bivol will just not respect him even more if he's throwing lighter shots. And I just don't think he can win a boxing match against Bivol. I think he has to have the same game plan and try to knock Bivol out in the first couple rounds, the first half of the fight, because that's his only chance. I feel like he has to land something big and knock him out or hurt him at least, because I don't think he can outscore Bivol. I don't think he can go the distance. If it goes in the later half of the fight, he's not going to catch Bivol anymore. He won't have the power, he won't have the stamina, and Bivol will be even more confident this time and land his power shots and possibly hurt Canelo this time since he's more confident. And like I said, Bivol does have power. He will sit down on his shots once he knows you're hurt, or if he senses you're slowing down. As we've seen, he starts putting it on the pressure, and you can tell he's got good power once he starts. It's just he chooses to box and not throw his shots as with 100% conviction at the start of the fight. He doesn't want to commit too much. He plays it more tactical. Whereas Canelo throws it all out. He goes guns blazing and he throws every shot with tremendous power. So, yeah, guys, I don't see Canelo win this fight unless he can land a big shot. So I feel like he should just have the game plan of going in there and not trying to win rounds and just try to knock him out. Because he can try to box Bivol. I don't think it will work at all, though. And maybe they will try that, but I think he needs to have the same strategy. He needs to try to land one power shot and get him out of there. And that's his only chance, in my opinion. Because the footwork, the jab, the tactical skills of Bivol is just, he's not gonna outpoint him. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Should Canelo switch up his style? Should he not throw every shot with so much power and kind of conserve his energy? Try to throw more lighter shots and be more active and score more scoring blows that don't have to be like hard hooks, right? Do you think he has a chance at winning rounds against Bivol that way? Because obviously the judges favor Canelo, but still, like, I think if he tries that, he's still going to get tired anyway, and I just don't think that. I think Bivol will be more confident this time, and if Canelo's throwing lighter shots, Bivol's not going to respect him even more, right? He'll just walk through it anyway. But I think if he throws very hard shots like he always does, Canelo, at least he has a chance of clipping Bivol early, because Canelo is very quick and explosive, and if he can land somehow What I'm trying to say is Canelo has a puncher's chance. I just don't know if stylistically he can beat this guy. I assume Bivol will be the favorite this time around, and depending on the Gilberto fight, obviously. But if everything goes to plan, we get this rematch. I'm still intrigued, and I want to see what Canelo can do differently. But I just don't think he has the tools to beat this guy. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Yeah, looking forward to the rematch. Hopefully, the Gilberto Zurdo versus Bivol fight is a good fight. And if Bivol can win that fight, we get the rematch. And or maybe even if he loses, I don't know. Maybe we still get the rematch, but it will take a little bit away from me, in my opinion. But I got Bivol winning that fight just on his pure boxing skills. I don't know. It's hard to. It's still unpredictable because Zurdo's undefeated, but he's never faced anyone like a Bivol caliber. But he is a massive man for the division. So I'd like to see how Bivol will handle his size. And we'll see if Zurdo can live up to the moment and see what he can do. But anyway, guys, it's Triple J Boxing, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.